Joining me now is Paul Theron. Thank you, Paul. I just have to say I will not be held responsible for anything that comes out of Paul's mouth. 2 new IPOs out of in the US, Yelp and
Angie's List.
Yes.
So
this is not a bubble. Let's just reiterate. This is not a bubble.
It's obviously been a long week. Eh? So what these are information sites. But my real question here is, where are the South African social media businesses? Because we know about Facebook and Twitter and all that, but these are second generation ones. Yelp is the thing that you use if you've like walked out of the restaurant and you want to have a dessert and you want to know where the nearest place is that sells, you know, watermelon sorbet, and then you type that into your mobile phone and it tells you, oh, there's a place, you know, 500 meters away. So that's going to list with a $1.5 billion multiple, etc., etc. I guess what I'm trying to say is, for me anyway, social media is the investment opportunity of the future. Because think about it, what are you doing more of in your life? You're not eating more meals, you're not driving with a car that has more wheels. What you're doing is using your phone more to do creative, fun, social
So what you're saying is that we need to be innovative in South Africa. Did you not hear the interview with Jacqueline Q from UCT talking about
entrepreneurs? Yes, no, I was listening intently to that.
Entrepreneurs in South Africa, firstly, they don't have a right education, most of the young, the youth in South Africa, and they don't have a conducive environment.
The businesses are there. You know, Mixit is there. We know that Kalahari.net's there. We know that the Maverick guys with their iPhone-only newspaper and all that are there. I think those businesses must come to the market. That's what we want. We want some listings.
And would you be the sole
strong supporter?
Okay, Super Mario. Mario Monti, Mario Draghi, and now everyone's calling them Super Mario.
So if you're a gaming guy, you'll know what Super Mario is. But obviously Mario, the one is at the ECB and the other one is taking over Italy now. But you know, the joke that's going around is that Europe must really be messed up if there's a German in the Vatican and an Italian at the ECB. That's the difficulty here. But the Super Marios, I'm full of confidence with what they can achieve.
We have a bit of a rumor that came through, a lot of mutterings about the ECB wanting to lend money to the IMF for the IMF to help the Eurozone.
That's perfect. That's exactly the kind of solution we're looking for. One which is so complicated and technical that even the conservative German voters can't protest about it because they don't actually understand how it works, but somehow the money or the guarantees or whatever get from where they are to where they need to be. I'm liking that solution. Next week, breaking news.
Someone really important retiring, Bill Miller.
Yeah, fascinating story. So Bill Miller, you know, they laughingly refer to him as the Tiger Woods of the asset management industry. In other words, a guy that had a fantastic streak, but then it all came apart. So he was the guy who, Legg Mason is his firm, he beat the S&P for 15 years in a row, from like 1990 up until 2005. Incredible success story in the asset management industry, had like 20 billion under management, dollars. But then it all came unglued. You know, he bet big on financials. The 2008 financial crisis wiped him out. He doubled down on stocks like Fannie Mae just before it got nationalized. He doubled down on Eastman Kodak because he thought, you know, the only thing you got to do is just sweat out the dips, etc., etc. Anyway, he's retired. But in case you're feeling bad for him, don't, because the fund had a 1.5 to 1.8% asset management fee. So you can only imagine how much money Legg Mason made off of that $20 billion at 1.5 to 2% per annum when it was rising and doing well. So, you know, he's apparently a yachting and boating enthusiast. He's going to go off in his large yacht to enjoy the rest of his career.
A stock that has come to the fore again, Super Group.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, I remember we were covering it extensively.
From Super Mario to Super Group.
Yes. Really in dire straits, and many say that luckily because Alan Gray was such a strong and big shareholder in the company, obviously did the right things to try and salvage the overgearing that the group had embarked on. And now Fitch Ratings has upgraded the outlook on its unsecured debt. Would you buy a stock such as Super Group? Do you remember the drama that ensued?
Look, it's interesting conceptually, because I think if you're going to be a contrarian and buy stocks that have blown out, you've got to decide whether the industry they're in is still good in terms of its growth opportunity. And in many cases it is, but in other cases the business opportunity is narrowing. So I suppose transport, logistics, there's always going to be that, but it's not as though they're not without their competition. So I don't think I'd be rushing in there. But I'm enthused and positive for them that they survived the rout. So well done to the chaps over there.
Thank you.